Thank you for joining us today for one of our 70th anniversary ANTOR podcasts, getting to know the ANTOR members, what the association is all about, and how the travel and tourism industry is kicking back after its COVID pandemic absence, let's put it that way. And today I am delighted to be joined by the UK Director of Travel and Tourism for the Seychelles Islands, Karen Confait. Welcome, Karen.
Hello, good morning, Alison. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for having me on today.
You too, and it's lovely to see, not everyone can see your smiley face. I can see your smiley face, smiling at me from the Seychelles itself, and in fact, showing me what amazingly good weather you're having there at the moment, as opposed to, well, we're not too bad. We're going into the rainy season ourselves here for the last 2 days.
Yeah, yes, indeed. We are having some amazing weather, 28 degrees today, some sunshine. So it's been really good, and the visitors have been enjoying it actually. So we can't complain.
Perfect. Well, I have very fond memories of the Seychelles when I first came out many years ago. See Mahe, Dennis, Sadi, Carlin, and a few other little places that were exciting and very varied. So I would I envy those visitors that are with you today.
I'm really glad that you could experience the islands, and the fact that you've done so many as well. That's the way to go. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you really have such a varied landscapes to see, and varied opportunities for people to experience local culture. And it's not just all about the beaches, it's about the islands,
exactly.
About the background, the backdrop, and the mountains, etc. So yeah, I've got very, very fond memories. So moving on, as I said, one of the ideas of the podcast is to help people listening to us understand a little bit about ANTOR. And ANTOR is the Association of National Tourist Officers, primarily based in the UK, but you don't have to be based in the UK. You can be anywhere in the world. And they are all promoting to the UK market and other markets, depending on where they are working from. It's our 70th anniversary, so we can't have been doing too badly over the last 70 years, and we have almost 70 members, so that's a nice thing to be able to say. So Karen, what do you find that ANTOR brings to you as a member of the association?
For us, it's been, you know, it's been a great initiative for us to join, definitely, especially during a time that was, you know, quite difficult for everyone, very unprecedented. We've never been through that before. It was great for us to have a community that, you know, we could join, we could share ideas, we can talk about all the difficulties we were going through, you know, what's the way forward. So for me, it was actually a perfect timing as we joined during the pandemic, and also it was great because you guys, you know, provide this platform where, you know, you provide a lot of intelligence about the market, which really benefits us as a tourism board. We know what's going on, and, you know, we've had all these sort of webinars, and we've had all these meetings, and you had some guest speakers coming on board. So that, you know, for me was really, really key. But as well as that, you provide a platform where we can reach the trade, you know, from your events and your the road shows and the trade events and the media events as well. So it was another avenue for us to reach, you know, which our target audience, which is the trade. So I believe these are some of the, you know, great benefits, and of course to meet others that is in my position on the market doing sort of the same thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the positive out of the pandemic has been that people like yourselves have been able to join us virtually in our meetings as well as our events. And that's really into 21st century thinking with our virtual skills, as we've seen today, doing a podcast between the UK and the Seychelles. So there has been some positive sides to the
Definitely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And it is what our members really do value is getting to know each other and understanding the market together and moving forward. And now our main aim is to move forward to see how we can address the carbon neutral side of travel and tourism, and how we can be more sustainable in our activities. So how long have you been working for the Seychelles Tourism Authority?
Yeah, so basically I've been with the tourism for 18 years. So in the industry for 18 years and with the tourism department for 18 years. So it's been a long time doing different things. I basically started in the e-marketing department, looking after the website. And then I started looking after, several markets, doing the traditional marketing, and then moved overseas to work on the market itself in the field. So about 10 years, 12 years overseas, and about 5 years at HQ. So it's been an amazing journey, I have to say.
I'm sure it has. And what were you doing before that? Was this your straight from university role?
Actually, no. I kind of started in a very different field. My mother was a microbiologist. So I started in the science field. I worked in the lab as working on food science. But, the kind of person I am, I felt that it wasn't the place for me to be stuck in a lab all day. I do believe I'm quite a social person. I want to be out there. So I just, on a one day to the next, I switched into tourism. And then I just started from there and actually found my passion, I have to say.
Fantastic, Karen. And I think the one thing that everybody says in the travel and tourism industry is that we are all passionate about the industry and passionate about travel. And
you wouldn't want to work in anywhere else, I believe.
Converted for life, absolutely. During this time, what sort of changes have you witnessed, you and also obviously tourism in Seychelles?
I mean, we started off basically promoting the destination late 1998, 99, and in 2000 we created the Seychelles Tourism Marketing Authority. So it was just basically a body promoting Seychelles internationally. And that's basically when I joined in 2004. And then in 2005, we created the Seychelles Tourism Board. So we moved away from authority into a board, and the board was created and it consisted of different members, stakeholders in the industry, airlines, hotels, DMC. So they were making all the main decisions, how we go forward promoting the destination. So we were a tourism board for quite a long time, and just recently, last year in 21, they basically dissolved the board, and now we are a part of the ministry. So we are now part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Tourism. So basically there was two changes. Tourism merged with Foreign Affairs, and us as a marketing body fell under the Ministry of Tourism. So now we are called Destination Marketing, internationally as Tourism Seychelles, as a brand name, but part of that ministerial structure.
Fantastic, actually, because it makes total sense to have foreign affairs and tourism together.
Exactly,
and
it did.
More destinations should take that lead. It makes it easier in the marketplace, doesn't it? Really? Less confusing as well. And you said destination marketing. Are you also involved in the management side of the destination? So are you involved in the destination structure, or does that fall under a different ministry?
No, for example, like under the tourism, Ministry of Tourism, we have 3 departments. So we have the destination marketing. So we are responsible for all the promoting and the marketing of the Seychelles internationally. And then we've got product and planning. So they look after all the products in the destination. And then we have administration and HR. So then they are involved in sort of managing the whole thing. So we are more sort of versed with, international markets. We do have overseas offices as well, where I was based. So our role is really the planning of the marketing and executing that and increasing tourism arrivals to Seychelles. So this is our core goal, I would say.
Fantastic. And it's interesting for different destinations as well as any listener to understand how a tourism authority works, isn't it? Because we do seem to be very good at reinventing the wheel with regular monotony across the world.
True.
Our own country doesn't even have tourism in the title of the Secretary of State, which kind of sums it all up, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But still lobbying to have our own minister at some stage.
Yes, I think it's key. I mean, for a destination like us, which is a small island state where tourism is the #1 pillar of the economy, the ministry is, a key part of driving, revenue into the country, basically. Yeah.
So having already mentioned the C word, we're going to come back to it and ask how the Seychelles is recovering from COVID and what yeah, where are you at the moment with it?
Seychelles, I have to say, we are doing very well, recovering really well as well. I mean, we are one of the destinations that opened up pretty early, since late 2020 to certain countries, and then 2021, early 2021 to all countries. So basically, visitors had started coming in quite early. And I have to say, it's been going well. We've seen a lot of diversification in markets, so new markets coming on board, for the likes of, the increase in the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and all that part of the world, Israel. But this year, I have to say, it's been quite exceptional. Already in July, we have surpassed the 2021 numbers. So that's a big milestone for just 7 months of the year. So we've already surpassed 2021, and we are well on our way to meet our target for 2022, which is really well. So the whole industry is really pleased. As you may know as well, Seychelles, a lot of individuals and organizations depend on tourism. So it's not just the hotels; it's your little guy, doing the tour with the taxi driver, the people in the market selling goods. So I have to say it's been great, and all the airlines are back flying. So we've got the seat capacity, and the hotels are saying they're full, and even some operators are complaining there's no rooms. So like we say, it's a good problem to have, after what we've been through, but we will continue to ensure that the arrivals keep increasing, definitely.
Fantastic. And how does that compare with 2019? I mean, that's kind of like our main comparison at the moment, because it wasn't only the last year of full opening, but it was also the best year the travel and tourism industry had ever had. So how does that compare to 2019?
Same for us. For example, our 2019 figures, we were about 385,000 arrivals in 2019. And this is actually our highest year ever. In terms of arrivals into the Seychelles. You can imagine our size. This is a big figure for us. So that was about 85,000. And compared to 2021, we were at 180,000. We are now at 195,000 in August. So we aim to be about 258,000 end of December. So we are sort of, let's say halfway mile past the 2019 figures. I don't believe we will reach it this year, because there is a bit to go. But 2023, I believe we should be back to where we are, where we were actually.
Remarkably, I remember in 2020 when a lot of people were saying we're never going to recover until 2023.
Yes.
Everyone was going, oh no, it'll be Q1 2022 or Q4 2022, and actually I think the world has realized it's going to be 2023. But everyone has to take their time and make sure it's all done properly. So that's
exactly.
And have you managed to develop a digital nomads product for the Seychelles, or a long stay remote working trend for the Seychelles?
Yes, we did. We actually developed that in 2021. We launched a staycation, in which, a workation program, where visitors could come in and work in Seychelles for about a year. And we promoted it. There was quite a few hotels that was on board offering, the facilities, especially for long-term working, everything that you would need. And it was, no extra visas or extra fees needed. So we did promote that in 2021, and I believe we did get some people coming in to do that. I mean, it is a perfect location for that. You're really spoiled for choice in terms of location. But and we were doing that also with a lot of our smaller properties, so not just the big resorts and hotels. A little self-catering apartment, who has 5 or 6 rooms. It's perfect. You can live there, you have everything, and you can just work remotely. So we did do that actually, and it's something probably we will continue as well.
Fantastic. And do you have those smaller properties, the sort of local accommodations, is that available on Airbnb, or how do people book those?
Yes, it is available on all your OTAs, on all your booking platforms, on booking.com, Agoda, Expedia, Airbnb. And I have to say, when you look at the amount of beds we have in the Seychelles, a whole chunk of it is actually small hotels, guest houses, self-caterings, apartments. We have so many of these. And when you count, we probably only have about 20, 25 big properties. So a lot of our our locals are investing in tourism establishment and having their own little businesses. So this is available on Mahitra and Ladik, and most of them, they do tell you they get their business from the OTAs, definitely. Yeah.
So the Seychelles special, it's getting to know the local people and the culture. And it's interesting that, you know, you're almost pretty much all bilingual in French, English, and Patois. So
we are because our language, we basically have 3 official languages in the Seychelles. From kindergarten, you learn all 3 languages and you grow up with 3 languages. Everything is official in English, but French and Creole is spoken everywhere. So it's a great asset for us to be able to grow up with 3 languages, I believe.
Absolutely, and with that comes cuisine and music and all sorts of different mixtures of culture.
This is it because Seychelles, it's such a mixed culture, and it's basically, you know, it started from people from Europe, Africa, and Asia, making up this melting pot of cultures. So you have all these different shades of people, but also all these influences, and that, you know, affects, like you mentioned, the music, the dance, the cuisine. You know, we love our hot curries, but also our local fish. So you really see that fusion when you're on the island, which, you know, you could actually compare us a little bit to the typical Creole of the Caribbean rather than the Indian Ocean islands, I would say, when you're comparing.
Absolutely, but you've still got the Indian Ocean and the Indian Ocean beaches, which
that's the best part, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just out of interest, you say that, you know, eventually you're going to be going back to the nearly 400,000 visitors. What is the population in Seychelles?
In Seychelles, oh, very small. As per the latest census, it was 98,000 people, so it's probably about 100,000 now. So very small population, and just basically spread on the 3 islands, Mahitra and Ladik. All the other islands do not have a population; they're mainly island resorts. So the fact that it's very small, we do have a lot of foreign workers, especially in the tourism industry. So we do need that to be able to run the hotels and all the, you know, all the facilities for tourism. I believe we will never be a mass destination. We don't want to be. And because of our size, there's only a certain amount that we'll be able to cater room-wise, service-wise, and also just infrastructure, electricity, water, waste, and all of that. So we do, you know, want to, you know, obviously increase, but like you were saying earlier, at a sustainable level, and in a sustainable way, because this is what is key for us, because as an island state, you know, there's not really anything else apart from fishing that is a sort of generating revenue for the economy.
That's fantastic. And so long as you're not over tourism, that's great, because that's
exactly this is what we want. Yeah, no mass tourism, no overdevelopment. And this is where we want to keep ourselves in that sort of, you know, luxury, but, you know, still affordable, but also exclusive, you know, not the mass hotels with all the how do you call it, all the all inclusive. That's not us. Yeah.
Well, that's all very exciting and interesting, Karen. So coming to the future, what are your plans and what are the ministry's plans and visions for the future?
So definitely, as I mentioned, we want to continue to grow the tourism, but also not just in volume, but in yield. That's really important for us. You know, we've always sort of had that niche of being exclusive and high-end luxury. So for that aspect, you know, targeting markets where, you know, the yield is quite high is important. But also to make it affordable, that it's not just, you know, one of those places that people say, oh, it's only the rich and famous that go to Seychelles. But, you know, everybody can come and experience at a reasonable price. And we're also working a lot on putting more emphasis on product diversification. This is the key, and that is being done by the product and planning unit, because when people come down to Seychelles, we need to make sure that they have an enriched experience. They are able to experience the culture. There's things to do. So again, they don't say, there's only beaches and we're bored after 2 days. So the product diversification important, and also a lot more emphasis is being put on cultural tourism experiences. And we have that. We have the culture, the people, the language, the cuisine. So just putting more things in place that people can join in and experience, and and also involving the locals. This is key. We need the locals to also take part the industry as part of their everyday life as well.
That's very, very on trend, as they'd say. I know that with the aim to be a carbon neutral industry, a lot of people are being encouraged to stay longer, and maximize on those air miles, so that they can give back to the local community, leave a positive footprint. Regional tourism is key to every small destination like yourself.
And we also want them to take part, and not only in the cultural aspect, but also in the preservation and conservation aspect. So that's what you said. We know they're traveling a long distance, and to be able to offset this, we want them to come down and go and do your beach cleaning, go and do the reef restoration, get involved, go and work in the nature reserve, and just give back a little bit, or with local companies. So that's a lot of the things we're doing. Everybody should plant a tree when they come down to the Seychelles. So little things like that.
I'm guessing that really the one thing that you're working on at the moment is probably air transportation. I know that we're all having challenges with our airlines at the moment and what's available. Do you have a national airline at the moment? Is there a...
Yes, we do. We've had a national airline for about over 40 years. I think they're celebrating their 40th or 45th anniversary this year. But Air Seychelles only does regional routes, so they do South Africa. So that's where Seychelles could be a great safari beach combo, as we have flights from Joburg. They do Mauritius and Mumbai and UAE as well. So they don't fly to Europe. But for now, we do have all the main Middle East carriers. We've got Qatar, Turkish, Etihad, Emirates. So Emirates have double daily flights. So this has been really good for us as we needed that seat capacity. And the minister in the ministry is always working to find new routes and new airlines to fly. We used to have BA, unfortunately that stopped during the pandemic, but it's something that we would love to relook at in the future. We do have Air France, Condor, Edelweiss from Europe. We used to have Aeroflot as well from Russia, but that unfortunately that stopped as well. So it's like progress and moving forward. They're looking at new markets. For example, Israel, we had some flights. Saudi Arabia, they're looking at some flights. So the more the merrier, but again trying to ensure that it's not overdone. That's important. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Karen. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to share with us before you go.
Yeah, I mean, just to mention that in terms of the UK, we're very pleased with the performance so far. We back up in the top 4 markets for Seychelles after Germany and France and Russia. So it's looking very positive. The operators are quite pleased, and we just very, very happy to have the UK numbers back. Europe is still 75% of the business, so it is our core markets and core business. But just to mention, Seychelles, to finish off, that it is a destination that's very diverse. A lot of people still think of us as one island, one beach. So, like you mentioned earlier, from the nature, we've got the 2 UNESCO sites, the Vallée de Mai, we've got the giant tortoises, we've got the biggest nut in the world, the Coco de Mer, and also the underwater world, the hiking, the nature, the culture. So I would use diversity as a phrase to talk about the islands, to explain that there is a lot to offer, like the island hopping. You've been to so many islands, and we want people to do that. Visit Mahé, Venice, even go out in the outer islands, Alphonse. So there is a lot to do and a lot to see in the destination. So for all types of travelers, eco travelers, and when you mentioned sustainability as well, a lot is going on. So this is, kind of the message we're really pushing out there in terms of what we have to offer.
Because we haven't mentioned weddings and honeymoons, Karen.
Oh,
so
yes.
another one to your list.
Indeed, it is. This has traditionally always been, a segment that has just been, it's been natural. People come down here to get married. It's quite easy, and there's not all the fuss. It is a legal wedding, so you get your certificate. It's recognized internationally. But of course, then stay for the honeymoon. I mean, you won't get another more amazing honeymoon destination. And we do say more foreigners do come to get married in Seychelles than locals. As you can imagine, the population is so tiny. So that has always been a great segment for us. It's something we're pushing, especially on the UK. We know on Ireland as well. So this is definitely something. But again, not only honeymoons and weddings, but the family market as well. That has grown over the years. We were traditionally known as just, couples or just honeymooners and things like that. But the family market has really grown over the years. So that's why we say, we cater for all these segments.
Absolutely. And your time zone is very similar to ours, I believe. So not much jet lag.
That's it. Not much jet lag. It's 3 hours in the summer, 4 in the winter. So, and especially the flights, they come in the morning. So you've got your full day, and then you can really just go, and explore and go to the beach. So none of that long sort of time difference. And it's also too easy to visit, no visas needed. With COVID, you do need the vaccine, but that's it. And you're free to move around. And the safety aspect, I believe this is one of our biggest selling points. It's still a very safe destination. You can rent a car, drive around on your own. On La Digue, you rent a bike and you explore on your own. So that safety aspect, I think, is still very much there, and what people are looking for nowadays, before with all the conflicts and then with COVID. So this is also very important.
Karen, well, thank you so much for speaking to us today. It's been enlightening, and I'm sure everyone very much enjoyed listening to how the Seychelles has progressed over the last few years. Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alison. Thank you for having us, and we'll speak soon. Thank you.